He was never born a hero. He didn't come from wealth, fame, or luck, just a small boy from a crowded neighborhood where dreams were often laughed at and ambition was considered a joke. His shoes were torn, his wallet was empty, but his heart was full of fire, full of belief that someday, somehow, he could rise like his idol, Jackie Chan. He watched Jackie's films not for entertainment, but for lessons, how pain could be turned into art, how failure could become fuel, and how laughter could exist even in bruises. That belief became his weapon. Every morning before sunrise, he trained in silence. Every evening when the city slept, he practiced moves in the mirror, repeating every mistake until it became perfection. People mocked him. They told him to stop chasing illusions, to find a real job, but he knew, success never belongs to those who quit early. It belongs to those who refuse to stop. He promised himself to work just 40 minutes more every day than the rest of the world, and over years, those 40 minutes became his advantage. His body ached, his hands bled, his knees cracked, but his spirit refused to break. Because pain, he learned, doesn't mean stop, it means grow. He got his first role after 5 long years, a small, silent part no one cared about. Yet he performed it with the intensity of a lead actor. He fell, rolled, and smiled through every take. When the director said, "Cut," he didn't stop, he practiced even harder. For him, every scar was a trophy. Every failure, a step forward. When others slept, he studied movement, rhythm, and timing, the art that made Jackie Chan's stunts look effortless. He had no mentor, no fancy equipment, only determination. And slowly, the world began to notice. A producer gave him a chance in a low-budget film. The movie failed, but his performance didn't. "There's something in that boy," one critic wrote. "He has pain in his eyes and fire in his heart." Years turned into decades. Life wasn't kind. Rejection, poverty, injuries, but he learned to dance with hardship. His greatest training was not in the gym but in the struggle itself. When his bones hurt, he reminded himself, Jackie broke bones too. When people doubted him, he whispered, "One more try." That whisper became his mantra. He realized greatness isn't about how fast you succeed, it's about how long you can survive when everything falls apart. 25 years passed, and finally, that same boy who once had nothing now had everything he once dreamed of, not because the world got easier, but because he got stronger. But the story didn't end there. When fame arrived, he didn't build walls, he built bridges. He went back to his old neighborhood, not as a star, but as a mentor. The same narrow streets where he once practiced barefoot now echoed with young voices learning to dream again. He created a small academy, not for actors, but for warriors of life. "I don't teach action," he told his students. "I teach endurance. I teach how to fall and still rise smiling." He told them the truth no one wants to hear. Success is slow, painful, lonely, but it's worth every tear. He often said, "Jackie Chan taught me that comedy and courage can exist in the same breath. That you can bleed and still laugh. That you can be broken and still beautiful." His students listened, wide-eyed, as he told them about his first audition, the years of failure, and the night he almost quit. That night, he said, "I cried not because I failed, but because I almost lost faith in myself. The next morning, I decided that if pain is my destiny, I will master it." That moment changed everything. Now he performs not just on screen but in hearts. His life became the kind of movie that never ends, a story that keeps others alive. He doesn't see himself as a legend but as proof that no dream is too small if your courage is too big. He often tells young people, "You can't scroll your way to success. You can't wish your way to greatness. You must sweat for it. You must fight for it. You must live for it." When asked about his biggest achievement, he doesn't mention awards or fame. He points to his students and says, "They are my legacy." He teaches them that every rejection is redirection, every failure is foundation, and every scar is a signature of effort. Don't be afraid of being slow, he tells them, be afraid of stopping. He built scholarships for poor kids who couldn't afford training. He donated his earnings to build playgrounds and small art centers in forgotten towns. He said, "When I was poor, I promised myself, if I ever rise, I'll pull others up with me." And he kept that promise. He became the mentor he never had. 25 years ago, he was just another boy with broken shoes. Now, he's the reason thousands of others dare to walk barefoot on the path of dreams. He believes that greatness is not about having everything, it's about giving everything. Every morning, he still wakes before sunrise, still trains, still pushes himself. Not because he needs to, but because he refuses to let comfort kill his hunger. When people ask him, "What's your secret?" he smiles and says, "Consistency. Not talent, not luck, consistency. I showed up every day, even when no one watched." And that's the truth behind every unstoppable soul. Success doesn't come to the strongest or the smartest, it comes to those who simply refuse to stop. He tells his students, don't chase perfection. Chase progress. Because perfection ends, progress never does. He teaches them that the world may forget your name, but it will never forget your spirit if you never quit. In the end, he stands on stage, looking at a hall full of dreamers, the same fire he once carried now burning in their eyes. He tells them, pain will visit you, failure will test you, doubt will whisper in your ear. But every time life knocks you down, remember this, you have a choice. Stay down, or rise stronger. The world doesn't need another easy story. It needs your story, your scars, your courage, your fight. He pauses, smiles, and adds, Jackie Chan once said, I never wanted to be the next Bruce Lee. I just wanted to be the first Jackie Chan. That's your mission too. Don't be someone else. Be your best self. Be the version that even your fears respect. And as the crowd claps, he looks up to the sky and whispers, thank you for the pain. Because now he knows, pain was never his enemy. It was his greatest teacher. So if you're reading this now, remember, greatness isn't built in comfort. It's built in struggle. Don't wait for perfect timing. Start now. Fail often. Rise always. Because one day, you'll look back and realize, every drop of sweat was worth it. Because success, my friend, isn't about reaching the top. It's about becoming unstoppable on the way there.